Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. My name is David Wilkerson and this is Surplus Funds 101. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys and talk about the top objections you're going to run into with claimants when cold calling for unclaimed property, surplus funds, or anything in the asset recovery space. You guys, I want to start off by saying thank you again to all the people who have liked the video, subscribed to the channel, pushed the video to a friend, left a PayPal donation, a Venmo donation, whatever it might be. All the support has been huge, you guys. So I appreciate you subscribing. And if you haven't, go and do it right now. I have been in the asset recovery and creative real estate space for over a decade now. So on this channel, I give all my top tricks and tips on what you guys need to do as solopreneurs to just crush it in this space. So without further ado, here we go, you guys. Here are the top objections you're going to run into when dealing with claimants working state and unclaimed funds. Okay, the very first thing I want to kind of preface this with is just kind of understanding what a real objection is. As human beings, I mean, especially right now in today's world, people like to hedge conversations with negativity. People always like to complain, bitch, gripe, whatever it might be. If you go ask any of your friends about somebody else, chances are they're going to start off by saying something negative, right? Now, when you're doing this business, it's going to be no different. People are going to give you all sorts of objections right out of the gate. And when you're brand new, you're going to think to yourself, oh my God, this is a deal killer, when it probably isn't. It's probably just a buyer question in disguise, And so, I don't want you guys to get too stressed out and worried, just take it for what it is, learn what these are, and just learn how to flow around the conversation when talking to people when they bring these up to you. Okay. Another thing I wanted to go over, you guys, is, man, if people aren't complaining, usually they're not buying. Almost every single one of the deals that I've ever done, there was some sort of complaint, some sort of objection, whatever it might be, And so, don't look at complaints and objections like a bad thing. You should get excited when people start bringing them up. Usually, if they aren't bringing them up, I start getting worried because I know that somebody's going to stroke me or they're going to waste my time. And the last thing you want to do, you guys, is be on the phone or be talking to somebody for an hour and have them flake you off. And so, there's certain things that you're going to hear in the dialogue and their tonality and the words of the claimants to where after a while, you'll just be able to hear the sound of a deal. And I think anybody who's spent a lot of time making some telephone calls or working with prospects, they would know what I'm talking about. But here's another thing, you guys. You got to know when a complaint is a complaint and it isn't a true concern. Okay, like I was saying before on the last slide, people like to bitch and complain. Okay, they're going to do it regardless. But if someone has the same complaint and they bring it up multiple times, it's probably not a complaint. It's probably a true concern. Okay, and so the last thing you want to do is not acknowledge their feelings or the complaint or concern that they might have. Okay. When somebody says it the very first time, I usually just kind of shrug it off. The second time, I address it and then I sidestep it and move on to the next portion of the script. But if it gets brought up a third time, I'm very, very clear to stop everything I'm doing, look them in the eyes, slow down, and be very thorough about addressing it with them. Because right then and there, that's either they're going to show you their poker cards, either they're going to want to move forward, or that's going to hang them up big time. And so, on another side note, you guys, a lot of complaints go away if you just approach people from more of a professional standpoint. Now, I'm not saying they aren't going to be there at all, but people are going to call your bluff and they're going to start giving you all sorts of complaints about not wanting to do business with you when they don't trust you or when something doesn't seem right. And so I don't want to sound like a dick when I say this, you guys, but there's going to be a lot of responsibility on your own shoulders when you look in the mirror about be the person that somebody wants to do business with. And you guys know what I mean. Serve people the way you would want to be served. But keep in mind, if someone has a lot of complaints and they keep bringing up the same thing over and over and over again, it's probably not a complaint, it's a concern. And it's very important. You need to address it. Otherwise, it could kill the deal. Okay, now here are just some of the most common objections and just some of the rebuttals. Okay, one of the ones I get all the time, I don't even know why people even say this. It's, how did you get my information? It's 2021. You just go Google somebody or type their name into Facebook and it pops right up, right? But this is generally what I say to people. And again, I've said this in a lot of other videos. It's not what you say, it's how you say. And so after a while, after you guys memorize the script, like the theatrics behind it are almost more important. How you're going to elevate your tonality, decrease it to draw them in, and little things like that. But here's just one of the ways that you can overcome this one. What I usually say is, hey, great question. My name is David Wilkerson, and being in the asset recovery business, we've partnered with the state, whatever state you guys are in, to help individuals like yourself recover lost property. Okay, they offer us the data, so as we've teamed up, we can serve you better. The amount of money owed to you is rather large. Okay, it might not be a big concern to you, but do you have any idea at all that you were owed anything from the state? And boom, that usually gets them right on back on track, and that usually crushes that objection right there. Okay, and then is this a scam? Okay, this is probably the number one objection that I get, and you got to level with these people to a certain extent. Okay, understand that most of these people we're dealing with, I mean, they're average 9 to 5 people. They probably make 30, 45 grand a year. Okay, they work at a day job they may or may not like, and when you call them up and say, hey, look, there's some unclaimed money that's owed to you. It looks like there's $30,000 or $40,000 that we can recover back on your behalf. Like to them, they've never seen a check that big. And I think a lot of people, they have limiting beliefs around what they feel they deserve, and so it's tough for them to believe that they could be owed this. And so a lot of the way that you're just going to resolve this is through data and just being able to bring up little things about the account that they will remember, and they can be like, okay, maybe this guy is real. But anyways, this is generally what I tell people. I have about 6 different rebuttals for this one. Here's one of them. Okay, hey, claimant's name. If I was you, I would totally be thinking the exact same thing. Okay, the money could be owed to you for several different reasons. Now, with your permission, is it okay if I show you the data that I have on your account? And that's usually it. And then usually they're going to say, well, yeah, let me ask you a couple more questions. And then when you start bringing up where they lived in the past, what kind of account it is, it starts pulling out little pieces of data in their head. And they're like, okay, this might be real. But again, just people can hear bullshit in your voice. So be honest with them, but you can build a ton of credibility with just the data that you have on these accounts. So it's really important, again, like I say this all the time, that you show up to your desk to make phone calls, prepared, ready, alert, and on top of things, so you can have these good conversations and not stall on anything. And then here's another one. Will you reduce your fee? Now this one, you guys, people ask me this all the time, and I think other people get this objection a lot, and that's why I'm covering this. I rarely ever have anybody ask me to reduce my fee. I think the way I communicate with people, they would probably be embarrassed to ask me if I would accept anything less than the cap amount, right? But anyways, what I say in that way, in that scenario, is I'd say, great question. The asset recovery space is heavily regulated by the states we work in. They cap our fee at 10% or whatever percentage the state is in that you work at. So we can never charge more than that. We also only get paid when we're successful at recovering your lost money. Now, doesn't that seem like a win-win to you? Oh yeah, of course. No out of pocket to me. I only pay you when you recover the goods. That sounds like a great idea. But you guys, oh yeah, here's another one. Do you have a license number? Okay, well, a lot of these states that we work in, they're not going to require you to have a license or have some permit or anything like that. And I think that the general public thinks that, like, if you're in business, that you should have some certain license or something like that. And so I've never, none of that. I don't have a license for any of the states I work in, but this is what I would say to them. I would say, hey, the state didn't give me one or requires me to have one. We partnered with them to assist people in recovering lost assets. Feel free to give them a call on my behalf and ask them about me and my business. I'm more than happy to hop on a Zoom call so you can put a name to the face, so that makes sense. Does that make you feel better? And boom, that usually handles that one right there. But you guys, these are the most common objections that I see, and kind of the preface on how to handle it. And so I'm done for today. But if you guys Have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. Any of the PayPal donations or Venmo donations are greatly accepted. Please like the video, subscribe, share, comment. All those things help out with the YouTube algorithm. But other than that, you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.